Hey, friends, welcome back to the channel. I'm Christian, that's Nate, and we're here to react to The Last Airbender
Yeah,
Avatar
it's been a while.
on Netflix. Yes, episode 4. I apologize. Nate already told me, we didn't tell me, he asked me a question. Are you tired? Which really means you look rough. So, hey, no one asked you that question to follow up with, well, because you look great. So, have you been sleeping okay? Because you look amazing. That's not what happens. So, one of those things. We're doing a morning record. Well, morning for me this time, but so
Yeah.
sometimes I have a morning face, I guess.
No, well, actually, the question wasn't in reference to what you look like. It was more a question. It was more in reference to what you sounded like.
Okay, sure.
You sounded like your conversation was slower.
Yes, don't talk to me.
What are you talking about? Looks exactly like a sky bison. It's supposed to be a badger mole.
Ooh.
You sure?
Is this kid a bad actor?
Yes.
There's nothing like earthbending masonry. My brother, the Fire Lord, sees things through only one lens: victory or defeat. Nothing else matters.
That's the. Can we pause?
Yeah.
So I just want to get philosophical here.
Oh.
He was saying here is like, his brother sees it through only one lens. I think that's why a lot of drama and crap happens. I should say, needless drama and crap happens in life is because people have a limited vision, right? And they think that this is the only way possible. And so from through my experience, I have learned that yeah, your vision might be kind of narrow because you're a human and obviously you don't know everything, right? But if you give it time, you will recognize that there is probably a better way. Like if you see the only few options that you have are like, this or that, if you have the opportunity to give it time, right? And then like a lot of people will be like, "Oh, we don't have that time," but you actually do have the time. Humans just like to be pressed and kind of stressed, and they think like, you know, we have to act in this moment, which is not is usually not the case. I found that usually what the case is if you learn to breathe in deeply, relax, and be like, you know what, we're going to wait for more information until you can't wait until you're not getting any more information, and if you don't, then that's when you make the best decision, right? But it's usually from lack of understanding, lack of seeing the other options, or lack of, which is generally the case, lack of wanting to see other options,
Hmm.
that people end up making horrible decisions. So
Yeah, and I think also a lot of people, a lot of times you get stuck in this mindset of, for me to win, you have to lose,
hmm
right? And
yeah,
so it's not just I have to do well, it's that I have to do well at your expense, right?
yeah,
Like
hmm
we all can't win. You have to
right,
lose for me to win,
right,
which I get accused of sometimes when playing board games, which I'm not. I'm like, look, I'm not trying to beat you. I'm just
yeah,
trying to win, right?
right,
And in some games, as a consequence, that means you lose, right? But
right,
my goal
hmm
isn't you lose so I
hmm
can win,
yeah,
But some people, that's just how they kind of operate in life, right? Which is why, you know, just thinking about friendships, it's you have to pay attention to how your friends like celebrate or don't celebrate like your victories and like your success, right? Because some
hmm
friends are your friend only as long as you are not winning as much as them.
right, yeah,
Right? Like,
hmm
if you start to go above them or they perceive you to be thinking you're better than them, then they want to
hmm
bring you down, right?
yeah,
Because
hmm
I only feel good if you are on my level or losing to me in
yeah,
reference, right?
hmm
So, I think, it seems like the Fire Lord has some of that, right? Like, he's like, the only way for us to win
hmm
is to actually subjugate all of you,
right,
right?
yeah,
Otherwise we're losing.
Right.
which doesn't really make any sense, but
Yeah, well, I mean, and I will definitely echo that that sentiment. It is a sad, very, very sad case that humans think that way. That humans think that the only way for them to win is for others to lose when it's not the case. And they teach that. They teach that in like economics class, and they teach all this this idea of scarcity and stuff like that. And it's really funny too because okay, so for here's an example in France they have, and I think maybe in Switzerland as well, but I do know it's in France. It's actively in France. They have this system where they will only allow they kind of limit, so you think it's like an open free market, but it's not a free market. They limit um, the opportunities for employment in a special field, in a certain field, right? If it's too inundated, they do not allow anybody, new people to come into that market, right? Regardless
interesting.
of how skilled you are or whatever the case is, once it's done, it's done. It's like a quota system, once it's done, it's done. Now you have to go and do something else, you know, which I think is very interesting. But, anyways, the reason why they do this, in my opinion, from what I understood, was because when it becomes like because it's so lucrative compared to other businesses, sorry, compared to other job positions or maybe industries, it's because it's so lucrative. This is what people are wanting to go do, right? Not necessarily because they want to do it, but they want the money that's associated with it, right? So, excuse me, but the thought process, my thought process is if all of these positions were paid more or less properly and equally, right? More people would feel comfortable going to do the thing that they wanted to do, knowing that they don't have to worry about, um, making enough money to survive, or being able to go do the things that they want to do.
It can't be always super principled, right? Like we think about like any war, right? That they want to call for a ceasefire, right? You have to give up something, right? Like you have to at a point say, hey, look, like we're killing each other. Let's take a break. Let's, breathe. You could say, no, I don't want to take a break. I want to keep killing you guys, right? Like you could do that, you know. But what's the ultimate goal? Ultimate goal, well, it depends on I guess what side you're on. But
Yeah.
like if at a point, it's like you have to kind of sometimes set aside your ultimate goal for kind of an intermediate goal of, hey, like let's take a breather, let's do something. So I think in this case, um again, I don't know what he was doing, but
Hmm.
if he's telling the truth
Hmm.
and they were being truthful to him, which we don't know either of those things, right?
Right.
He was giving them something,
Right.
right? They wanted it. Did it ultimately help their war effort? Maybe not, but it did kind of give some level of protection to the city. Um,
Yes.
I I
Yeah.
I think what they should have done with that is say, "Hey, look," is him say to the king, which we don't know that he didn't do. We haven't watched more than like 5 minutes or so far. But, if he would said, "Hey, look,
Yeah.
I'm giving them X, Y, and Z stuff, then leave us alone," right?
Yeah.
That means we have some time to get our act together, right? Let's not
Hmm.
just sit here and use this time like eating and drinking and being merry, right? Like
But they
we have
weren't
a
even doing that though.
right. We have a reprieve.
Hmm.
Let's get our stuff together and figure this out, right? I think that would have been a good thing to do, but I think he was so
Yeah.
scared of being seen as a traitor that he
Hmm.
just was like, "I'm gonna do this good thing, but I can't tell
Hmm.
anybody because they're gonna hate me."
The concept of peace at any price is something, excuse me, I disagree with. I think it's overrated. I think the people who want peace are far more willing to compromise than the people who want war, right? So like and so in that situation, the people who want war are almost always ones who win because it's just very much like hate, in my opinion. is it comes with such a fury and whatever that humans aren't we're not built for it, you know? We're not built to be desirous. I mean, to see a bunch of killing and a bunch of like brutalization and stuff like that. You know, with these wars going on currently in our land. You know, and we've got all everybody like protesting one side or the other on all of these fronts. You know, we're just not built to see that kind of you know like devastation. We just don't like it. As
Yeah.
a whole, we just don't like it, right? It breaks our hearts, it tears us apart, sort of thing. And so you're calling for um, you're calling for peace, and then so the people who know that now they have the upper hand can be like, okay, we'll give you peace, but at the price that they decide,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, that kinda reminds me of just, I'm just thinking back to a lot of the debate between, the camps of, say, Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
um, because at a point, people who are willing to be violent or not follow the rules are
Hmm.
always at an advantage, right?
Yeah.
If
Yes.
you are a rule follower,
Hmm.
you're always disadvantaged to rule breakers, right?
Right.
Because you have something you won't do and they
Hmm.
don't. Right?
Precisely.
And
Yep.
so, but at the same time, does that mean, hey, in order to win, I'm going to become a rule breaker? Yeah.
So
All right.
41 minutes, 5 minutes
I
in.
know, right? So back to the show, I guess. Thanks for watching on Patreon. Y'all guys
Yeah.
gotta, I mean, listen, if you're on Patreon, just let me know. Did you watch all of this whole stretch of our tangent, or did you like fast forward through it?
Lotus root, pine bark, dried jasmine.
They're
I
like,
thought he was
And he's
supposed to be
very,
in
very good
prison.
at
I thought
rock
that's where he
skipping.
met him.
well, I think he was in prison, but then they took him here.
Boomy?
No, the king.
Hello, Ang.
I am nothing like the firebenders.
I
Oh,
mean,
you're
that's not really
everything
true.
like them.
You're kind of just like them.
Yeah.
Prove? Maybe I'm trying to show you there are no easy journeys for the Avatar? Maybe I just wanted to play a game, like we did back in the old days.
Love is the answer. Love is all you need. Love makes the world go round.
Now you're listening to the minstrels? Asako, wait!
Katara, what is your problem?
By the time we
did he
put the
do that?
fires out, there was nothing left of him to bury. He was 19. All those lives lost, we were at war. I was a soldier. You were a butcher.
Oh, I'll just say one thing because you mentioned he didn't have a good response, but like there is no response to like killing you did in war, right? Like it's not like he was like a terrorist or ran up on your house to just like like we were
Hmm.
at war. I was like you were fighting. I'm sure you killed people. You killed someone's brother, right?
Right.
Like what
Hmm.
would you say to them, right? Like it's like we were fighting. I know I feel like he does feel bad about the war,
Hmm.
but he's like, "No need to be mad at me personally." Right? Like this was war and I was doing war stuff.
No, I don't. I mean, I don't agree. Like, first of all, I think he is the famed. They said he's the famed dragon of the whatever north or whatever the
Yeah.
situation is. So he had seems to have had uh, a power beyond,
Well, he was a
like above
general,
and
so I mean,
beyond. Yeah.
he wasn't
So
just
he
like a
was
peon, but it was
right. So
still
he was able to just take some people out. That's what it sounds like. This is what happened. Like he was able to take some people out. Also, from the way it sets up, he said we were at war. No, the Fire Nation declared war on the rest of them, and they, like I was saying before, had to defend. So if the Earth Nation had to kill people, it was in response to what the Fire Nation was doing, right? The Earth Nation wouldn't have killed anybody if the Fire Nation had just stayed the back, right? But they didn't want to. They attacked, right? So this is why this guy, I think he has every right to be angry and upset and understand why you did this. And the uncle's response is, "We're at war," isn't sufficient. No, you've got a mind of your own. Like if you like he now it seems like I think he's remorseful about what happened. So he was also young at the time, right? So he might have been doing it out of, you know, just very much like what Suko, I guess, is doing. Like he's just trying to get his, back, get into his father's good graces or something like that. Extremely misguided,
Yeah. Or it was
but
just
understandable.
his job, right? Like
But that's the
as a
problem.
general, like if they say, "Hey, go take that city," right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna do.
But see, that's the problem. So if you get into a position where this is something that you're willing to do just because it's your job, right? I think that is an issue, right? If you take on a job where your job is to kill innocent people because someone said so, not because of an actual attack or defensive whatever, there is a problem, and you are going to take responsibility for what you did. There is no excuse, whether it is your job or not, for doing that. There's none, in my opinion. There's no excuse. And humans do lie, especially Westerners, especially Americans, love to hide behind this. Oh, this is my duty, so I don't question it.
But while we're here,
Yeah.
just a quick thank you to our Patreon subscribers. I'm sorry I didn't have a clever segue this time. I just figured I would just go ahead and do it. So sorry. Next time get a
I
clever
forgot about it.
segue.
Bravo for remembering. So
But yeah, just again, thanks to Babs, Kate, and Abby for hanging out with us in the Discord and all that kind of stuff. If you all
Mhm.
want to support us, you see the link, you can go there. We got 3 levels of support. If you can't do any of those things, it's all good. We still love you. You can always just give us a like, subscribe, share with your friend, leave a comment. All that kind of stuff helps us kind of continue to do what we do here because we want to keep doing it and we love doing it for you. So any support you can give, we will appreciate. So
Yes.
thank you very much. All right, shall we get back to the main event?
I'm sorry, fire is not stronger than that.
We've all seen enough death.
What's going
Do
on?
you want to learn earthbending?
Earthbending 101.
It's all gonna cave in for no reason.
Boomy, I can't hold both of them. Help me!
Let it fall. Let it fall. And you win.
Boomy, this isn't a game!
Yes, it is. One that requires you to make impossible choices.
What?
Hey, now! Stop! You were wrong. You can rely on your friends. And that's the only way I'm gonna save the world.
All of you, get out of here. The Avatar has places he has to be. We can take care of ourselves. It's time Mwashu rejoin the war.
Yes. Well, stay tuned for our additional thoughts in our review episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for watching. Again, don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment, share with a friend,
Yeah.
click the notification bell. That way you know when we have new stuff coming out because
Hmm.
that is always appreciated.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Actually, we are doing game streaming for any of our watchers who are interested in gaming.
Yeah.
We did Diablo, which will be out today. Well, it's got a little bit of echo problem, but
Nate
we
said it
fixed
sounded
that.
epic.
It sounds epic. I'm gonna put it up anyway, just so y'all see what we're up to, and then whatever. So yeah, that notification will help you know we have some other things that are in the works. So
Yes. So stay tuned and we'll see you in a couple days.
yep.
All right, folks. Later.
Ciao.